Okay, let's move to waivers. We're running this a long episode. First one on the list is Hee-Chan Wang for Wolves, owned in 25% of leagues. Strand Larson went down with an injury, and it looked muscular, and it feels like it's gonna be a little while. So I think Hee-Chan could get those starts, and he's proven to be a solid, if streaky player, and could be a sneaky pickup. I think especially if you're someone maybe you don't have a lot of fab, like somebody here, or you're just low in the waiver priority. I don't think a lot of people are going to be looking out for him, and I think he's probably going to be starting games for Wolves. And Wolves scores goals. They let in a lot of goals, but they score goals.
Yeah.
So I think that's a sneaky one. We just talked about him, Christopher Nkunku, forward for Chelsea right now, 47% owned. Rumors of a move away from Chelsea, and it's like that rumor to United. It's a very much a speculative ad because he doesn't bring you any value whatsoever right now. But if he does go to United, I think there's that would be like a huge upside. And I think his failures at Chelsea are more positional than anything else, and he could potentially thrive as one of the two number 10s behind a striker.
Yeah, he just got unfortunate at Chelsea. He got injured at the wrong times.
Yeah. It is what it is. But I think that if he does get United, that's like a 51 fab signing. Like you're talking like huge upside.
Very high potential.
You put high potential, but it should only be like 10 to 15 fab.
Okay.
Max.
Okay, I was just throwing out a number.
Okay.
Next one, Omar Mamouche, we talked about. He's only owned at 8% as of yesterday. It's probably already up way more.
Yeah.
I think in a lot of new players to the league, there's always going to be like a lot of hype and speculation, and a lot of times they don't live up to that. But like look at Mohamed Kudus last year. Like that one was a huge win for anyone who picked him up in January. But I think that in most leagues that he was able to be picked up. And most good leagues, someone grabbed him just because there's such that excitement. But I think that there's I'm a little nervous. We talked about how good he looked, and I think there's Enzo's point that doesn't necessarily translate into fantasy. It didn't translate into fantasy points. It doesn't mean it necessarily will translate into fantasy points. And the other concern is that Pep is notoriously fickle with new signings, and so it wouldn't shock me for him to throw him in this game, then not start him next game, then not start him the game after, and then throw him in again. And so it's not like you're locking in like a guy who's going to be guaranteed starts every week. Because we just don't know.
And that's what I was going to
say. There's no roadmap for Pep.
And that's what I was going to say. And it's also January signings don't always big signings. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't always do well. So
I think
it's Man City.
Yeah, I think that my advice on him would be don't drop anyone too good to pick him up on a speculative. I think that's where you're going to fall into issues. If you can get him and you don't really have much strength on your bench, great. But if you're dropping like a really established starter,
don't put 51 fab down.
Yeah, definitely don't do that. Next name on the list, owned in 43% of leagues, is Julio Enciso. He's just made the switch to Ipswich from Brighton.
Big move.
Yeah, it's a good move. Just means more playing time for him, and he's shown some real flashes in the past. There's a good player in there, and also just because mids are really tough right now, there's just not, and he's kind of one of those. He's classified as a mid, but really is a very attacking player. So there's a lot of chance for really good returns there. And also they play Southampton this coming week, which is the game you want to start him. So if he starts, which he hasn't started a game for them yet, he just came in and played 10 minutes in the last game because he just got transferred to the team. I'm assuming with a full week's rest, he's going to probably start. In a full week training with Ipswich, he's probably going to start. Like you don't bring him in not to start. So I think with him and then Southampton, them playing Southampton, I think this is a great spot start for Enciso this week.
Big shout. I think that he was a good player at Brighton. Just don't think he got the games.
And his injuries.
Right. Yeah, and his injuries. And Ipswich, they you know what? They're throwing their dice out there, man. And they're making a gamble pick. And obviously they're probably going to start him because they think that he has the capability to try to keep him up. So we'll see.
Yeah. I actually think that's a good one. He's definitely someone. I think the only thing. Wait, is he a forward? I thought he was a mid. He's a mid. Yeah. So I think that's what also makes him really exciting because mids are just tough right now. Okay, next player, Jan Bedrick, defender, 13% of league, Southampton. Oh, it feels gross.
It does. It feels so gross. Every time I said it, I was like, oh, but he's doing
it. Feels like you're taking a dive into a muddy pond. But he just keeps scoring points, even on a rough team. It seems like. To me, this seems like a ticking time bomb. Like the second you pick him up and play him, it's going to be a week that he's going to go negative. But you can't argue with the points. You can't argue with results. I mean, the amount of times that I've tried to argue against results and gotten burned.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We all
so,
have, man. We all have.
yeah. So
2 bad games he had the last like month and a half is when they got swapped, like
slaughtered.
5-0. Yeah. Besides that, it's destroying double
Really?
digits.
Yeah,
It's
and
all
I think
clearances,
I mean
man. It's all clearances, and there also won.
the new coach has definitely tried to solidify them defensively. He still doesn't have a win, but like they've looked a little better since the new coach has come in. So
yes, still
I
bad.
mean, they're
though,
hopeless. They're going to go down, but I don't think they're as bad as they were.
innit? No.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, last name on the list, my guy Bilal El Khanous, midfielder, owned in 15% of leagues.
Why?
Because he got a good goal on the weekend. He's put together a few decent performances in a row now. I think he's like 8.5, 10, and then 16. So
What's his average, Tico? I want to hear that.
Average doesn't matter.
I want to hear what his average is in the last 5 games, Tico.
No, not
I
last
know.
5. Just do a
he
sub
helped
average.
Keith beat you.
This week, yeah.
So he's averaging 5.8, but when we look at it, let's see, 15.5, 10.5, 8, 4, 7.5. So again, these are all games that they lost.
Decent. It's decent.
Yeah,
It's good. It's good.
I think and this is my kind of deeper analysis. I think that on the ball, he looks really good. He looks really exciting. He passes the eye test. What I'm concerned is he seems to get a little bit lost in games and kind of disappears. And isn't like, when you look at like a Bruno Fernandes, like when he makes a pass, he's immediately running up the field and trying to get into a scoring position or immediately then trying to assist. When I watch this dude, he makes a really nice pass and it seems like he's just kind of cruising back after that, cruising forward. He doesn't quite have that like aggressive thing. And I think that's something you can coach, but I think that's something that's a little concerning. And that is where I think it's potential for him to like get those really bad games. Those like 2-point games,
Yeah.
and it is Leicester.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're guaranteed anything there. I think the one thing with him is that they play Everton next, and I think the way Everton's been playing is absorbing pressure and then breaking on the counter. So if this is a chance for maybe he can get a lot of like key passes and shots on target and things like that. So I think there is some value there as well. And that's it. That's Waiver.
Lovely. There was a lot of waivers this week, to be honest.
There was actually good ones. I think it's been rough. It's been rough for a while, and I thought there's actually some ones worth talking about.
And I think we still got a few days left in the transfer window, so I think there'll still be a few more to come.
Yeah, so it could be exciting. Next week, we could have some fun stuff to talk about. Should we get into some transfer rumors?
Yeah, this could be interesting.
This one is the juiciest one to me, and it's United considering a loan move for Christopher Nkunku. Good or bad?
Good.
I
think this could be really good for him.
I think this could be really good too. Tico, how do you feel about it as a United fan? Would you be excited about this?
Absolutely. I like that Nkunku was going in last year. He provides, an option because
you gotta.
don't have him in this shit.
You gotta think though, like if you think about some of the past players Man United have had, like this could be actually one that could work out. Because you really think about it, Weghorst, I think he's better than Xerxes and Højlund, and then who? Fred, he's better than fucking Casemiro in the middle.
Okay, but I'm saying that I think that the reason why I think this is a good move is because I don't think Nkunku would play as a 9. I think Nkunku would play as one of the 10 and the 10 underneath. But I think he could step into the 9 like in moments and play higher up if he needs to. If Højlund drops in a little bit or if whoever's playing that role, I think it would give them a lot of versatility. I'm very into this, and that's someone who like obviously wishes that it would have worked out for him at Chelsea, and it just clearly isn't. Okay, next one. United put in 30 million build for Lecce left wing back Dorgu.
Yeah,
Dorgu sounds like a Star Wars character name.
It does.
Yeah,
I didn't think about that till you just said it.
It's Dorgu. Dorgu from the Swamp Planet.
Wait, Tico, say again.
From the from the Dagobah system. Dorgu. I don't know anything about him, but I think any sort of wingback that actually comes in and plays that position, because I don't have anyone that actually is a left wingback, I think would be an upgrade for them and could be interesting. Because what we've talked about
also it'll be an Amarin player.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, I'm into that too if that happens. Villa in for Villarreal, center back 4th. I remember this guy. He was he's an ex-Spurs player. Did he get good?
He went to Villarreal and won a cup in his first season. So that's what all Tottenham players do. When they leave Tottenham,
they win.
They go win somewhere. At all. Fucking bad.
Not Harry Kane.
Who?
Not yet.
Oh, not yet. He's going to probably win a couple trophies this season, mate.
Chelsea wants Verona star Bellion. Chelsea also wants like 1 billion other players. They want that Telles from Bayern. Apparently they're one of the names after Garnacho too,
Really?
which is interesting. I actually think because he would be like, because right now Mudryk is like in no man's land. Like who knows what's going on with him. So Chelsea are a little light on the left wing, but they're also light in center mid. So it's just ridiculous that they're going after him and not going after another midfielder. But if there was a midfielder or left wing to go after, I wouldn't be that mad at it. People are like pissed. Like Chelsea fans do not want him, but I actually think it wouldn't be that bad of an option personally.
I
So.
just think he's got so many players. I think he should be able to make it work with what he's got.
Yeah,
To be honest.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Vahalovic to the Prem team. I haven't heard this at all. Where did you? Who did you?
It was
hear
on Sky Sports.
Who did you hear that? What teams would be interested in him?
It didn't say. It just said that there was a couple teams in the Premiership that had asked about Vlahovic. If you really think about it, there's only really two teams that Arsenal and Man United. He seems like a Man United player to me.
Yeah, someone who's someone who they pay a lot of money for and underperforms.
Exactly.
I wonder how much of that is Juventus is trying to drum up interest for him.
Probably drumming up interest, especially it's the Premier League. Like, come on, give me your money. Let me feel the. You know what I mean?
João Felix wasn't in this matchday squad for Chelsea this weekend because he went home due to a bereavement, like a death in the family. Hope everything's good there. I've also heard rumors that Villa's interested in him, and that's another one
that could work.
Like I think some of these players at Chelsea, it's like go elsewhere and like fly, like like release you into the wild and you can fly and live a good life elsewhere.
Be a peacock and fly.
Yeah. John Duran to somewhere.
No, he ain't going nowhere.
He ain't going nowhere.
Emery's already said he's not going to lose Duran. You know what? I heard someone say this. I think it was Alan Shearer and Gary Lineker. Will they ever bring back the 4-4-2 formation? You know what I mean? Where you have two actual good center forwards playing up front, a big one and a small one, play off each other.
I don't think it would ever be a 4-4-2. I think you could play a 3-5-2. I think there's just the 4-4-2 is just there's so much out on the wings that you know what I mean? Because like you're gonna have I don't know, it just feels like
I still love that shit.
It feels
dude.
lopsided to me now. When you think about a 4-4-2 in the modern game, how much is needed in the middle, and you have so much out wide. You have a right back and a right winger, left back and a left winger. You have four players playing in these outside positions. You're only gonna have two defenders, and there's two midfielders, and where they're gonna link to, I don't know. I feel like
there's
positions where you can have two strikers, but I don't think a 4-4-2 is that position.
I love the 4-4-2, man. I mean, Emil Heskey, Michael Owen.
Like,
Pierre Crouch, Jermaine Defoe,
and next to each other, or front and back.
Either or, because you can play the two that play off each other, or you play the one that plays in front that just flicks on balls. You know what I mean? Like the Emil Heskey,
Wayne Rooney.
So yeah, Real Madrid tried playing it with Vinny and Mbappe up top. None of them are in 9. It doesn't look good, man. When you look at it,
because none of them are 9.
They're not, but I'm just saying aesthetically.
Real Madrid's just trying to fit in. This is my opinion. Real Madrid's trying to fit all their best players in instead of they're letting the players dictate how they play football when it should be the team that dictates how they play football.
That's been Ancelotti's superpower always, is that he figures out how to get everyone to play together in a way that works.
Yeah.
And so right now he's literally has like an impossible task, but he's making it work.